Hello audience, it's Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic, and this is Brain Snob episode 54. I want everyone to be a brain snob. It's not an insult to be called a brain snob. It means you know enough about the brain so you give yourself great life experiences, because we need your participation in the world, your full participation, and you can't do that with a burdened brain. So let's do different things throughout with the BFA protocol. Brain first always. One is you got to be adjusted. That's moving your brain. And you can't do that through the video. You've got to come in and get an adjustment. Nothing else resets the nervous system like a chiropractic adjustment. But today I want to talk about the difference between stress and diagnosis. I guess they're unrelated, but one is needs to be emphasized more and one needs to be kind of not emphasized. So a diagnosis, here's my beef with it. It's information. It's a label. It just says one thing. It's something that you can put on an insurance form. Yes, that's what a diagnosis is. Diagnosis doesn't give you any other information about how to make your life better. And why bother? Really? Really. So I may be taking this to the extreme, like, oh, Lisa, she doesn't like to have a diagnosis. She doesn't want to know what's wrong with her. I'm like, well, no, I don't need to be hung up on a diagnosis. I need to know the stress. And that's the word I prefer, stress, because that will explain why you reached the point where somebody was able to give you a diagnosis. We need to know why you're under the weather, how you got there. We need to know your story of what your life's been like in the last few days, last few weeks, last few months, because that's what built up to why you are given a diagnosis. So if you come to me and say, well, I have stenosis, I don't care. Really, it doesn't bother me. We're going to figure out how to make your life better. Stenosis or no stenosis. It's a millisecond of your life when somebody says you've got stenosis. You've got a lot of living to do. Somebody will say, oh, I've been diagnosed with arthritis. Well, one, diagnosis is a whole lot deeper than that. You can have psoriatic arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis arthritis. There's so many different kinds. I don't care still, because your story is more important. What was going on in your life the last 6 months, the last 6 years? What have you been doing that's been putting the stress on your body, where you've reached a point of a breaking point, where the water has risen, the dam is broken because the water got too high. That's what we're talking about. We have to be a stress detective, and I'll be your stress detective coach to know what led you up to this point, because the event doesn't matter. You shoveled snow and hurt your back, that's an event, big deal. Why aren't you healing well from that event? Why are you suffering? Why do you have immense back pain? Why? Not because of the snow, not because of that day. What was happening prior? What was happening 2 weeks ago? What was happening 2 months ago? Are you out of shape? Are your muscles under-conditioned? Are you full of crappy nutrition? Well, nutrition's wonderful, so crappy nutrition is an oxymoron, but what have you been eating that has been wrecking your muscles? Maybe putting more fat in your muscles instead of muscle fibers. What is the stress? Are you sleeping properly? We need to be the stress detective to figure out what is your body asking for. I'm looking at your nervous system. Is it acting appropriately or inappropriately? A lot of it is appropriate. You feel horrible because you did something and your body's reacting. Swelling and inflammation, that's a normal response. We want to make sure we can get rid of it in an appropriate manner, in an appropriate amount of time. We don't want it lingering or hanging around. Why do we put up with so much things that linger and hang around? Because we're not good stress detectives. We don't look deeply into our lives and uncover what the major problem is. And there's multiples. Trust me, life is complicated, but stress is here to stay every day. It never takes a day off. So we've got to be smarter. So be a stress detective. And that's part of becoming a brain snob. Because when you know about your stress and what triggers you and what causes you problems, you can handle it better. You can do nicer things to your body to help your brain work better. because you don't make good decisions when your brain is deprived of oxygen. You have enough stress going on, fight or flight. The oxygen's not in your brain. The oxygen is driven away through your blood to go to your muscles because your body thinks it's in danger. We've got to give your body the correct messages. Otherwise, you're just going to be in this spiraling cycle. And that's the point of the BFA protocol. We want to get you out of that spiraling cycle. You can't be in growth and defense at the same time. We've got to get out of defense. So the Brain First Always protocol, move your brain, feed your brain, talk to your brain. All you got to do is know those 3 things, and we break them down into steps. But those are the 3 parts of Brain First Always. And you can have a better functioning brain because we want you to do life better. Absolutely. You need a better brain to do life better. So what are you going to do? Look at the blog, read the articles. They'll give you some more ideas. Watch the orientation video. It's going to help you figure out what stresses are really beating you down. There's 3 types: chemical stress, mechanical stress, and emotional stress. You've got to be a stress detective, dissect it, get to the nitty-gritty, and figure out what really needs changing. Because a label doesn't change you, but doing life better is going to change you. So thanks for watching. I want you to become a good ripple effect, a positive ripple effect in your community. And it can start today. Happy New Year.